Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up the football gods. Wake up here, guys. Wake up here on this thirsty Thursday. And Lord knows, I think we could all use a drink. It's one of those days that you want, the first sip isn't enough. You need a couple of sips to really get this thing going because life seems to be surreal. You know, there's a saying, there's lots of sayings, but there's one that's you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. No matter what you do, people are never going to be happy. I spoke yesterday about what's going on downtown and put in my own personal experiences. Some people say, "Hey, man, I respect you for putting that stuff out there," and then others that literally say, basically, "Shut up and talk about football," or condemn you, or "I'm going to unsubscribe." I try and clarify that, and of course, then you get some of the same stuff. People say you didn't need to explain yourself. I understand completely. Others, of course, you are the devil, and so on, and you're just full of crap. So then I do my fireside chat. And then I get some people like, with what's going on in the world, I can't think about football. So you're literally damned if you do and damned if you don't. So the best thing to do is do what you feel is right thing to do. The world's crazy. The world is crazy. And you may not want to hear what I have to say, and that's fine. That's okay. Because there are millions and millions of places you can go on the internet, as we've proved. Some good ones, some bad ones, some crazy ones. And it's up to you to figure out where you fit in with that. I am always going to be the positive person. I'm always going to hope for the best. I'm always going to have feelings for what's going on for everybody. I'm going to be the prime person that tries to calm the temperature down in the room. Try and make you see differently than way you've been seeing before. And try and find a way to let you know that everybody is not so different and that we have more in common than apart. And probably a lot of you've tuned out. That's fine. That's cool. That's all right. So on to the subject for today. I'll try and talk about football to get your mind off of everything else that's going on around you. Sometimes you need something to do that's different than to get your mind off things. And I'm still wondering, why is it always seems like the Dallas Cowboys are late to the party, that they're slow to make moves, that a lot of times it seems like they wait too long before they do something. I'll give you a perfect example from my own personal situation in life. On a Wednesday, I had a little red spot, about so big, on my knee, and my knee just kind of felt a little arthritic. Felt kind of stiff. And this wasn't my bad knee, this was my good knee. And I didn't think much about it. The next day, it was swollen and hot to the touch on Thursday. And it was stiffer. And I still didn't go to the doctor. Friday, I get up, and it's about that color red. I don't know if you can see that, but it's red, cherry red. And it's hot to the touch. And I finally said, let me call the doctor. And I called my orthopedist, and they said, well, New Year's Day is, of course, Sunday. We're closing the office early. We'll make an appointment for you Monday. If it's really bothering you, go to the hospital. I said, okay, I'll wait. Saturday, I was kind of comatose. I kind of remember it, but I don't. And my brother literally carried me down the steps, put me in the car, and took me to the hospital, where on New Year's Eve, I had the first of 3 knee operations to save my leg. Finding out later, they said if it had been another day that I'd waited, I would have lost my leg. If it had been 2 days, I would have died. Had I gone to the doctor on that Thursday, I could have just had some antibiotics to stop the Streptococcus A. Instead of spending 2 weeks in the hospital and 3 knee operations and 6 months learning how to walk again. Clearly, doing this early would have been better. It would have been advantageous. But it seems like the Dallas Cowboys are always slow to react to stuff. You'll remember 2 years ago, Jason Garrett does his press conference. And then they waited till Wednesday before they fired Scott Linehan. Last year with Jason Garrett, they said if we don't get deep in the playoffs, then Jason Garrett won't be the coach. But here it was, we didn't get to the playoffs, certainly not getting deep in it. And here it was for a whole week, Jason Garrett was coming to the job. Now the problem with waiting is a lot of the talented people out there are already taking jobs. I'm not saying that Mike McCarthy wasn't a good hire. Maybe they had sights on him before and had communications that they knew they didn't have to be in a rush. However, due diligence would be you want to look around and try and get the best all the way around. And here we are right now, a week after our season's gone over, where we heard weeks ago that Mike Nolan wasn't returning. We had a defense that gave up 473 points, averaging 29, averaging the same amount of points that Kansas City scores a game, giving up on defense. And I'm not saying that Mike Nolan should go. I'm not. But it's one of those things that either you say, Mike Nolan, you're staying, or Mike Nolan, you're going. And you start the process of figuring out who's going to be your defensive coordinator. You get that guy in here as soon as possible. You start developing a plan for what you're going to do next year. What kind of defense are we going to run? Do we know? Do we know? Start evaluating personnel that you want for this defense. Do we know? Start getting that guy in place sooner than later. But we're always behind in the curve. Free agency. We don't start looking at free agents until the second or third week. In which case you are bottom basement shopping. I'm not saying that you might not find some good, players there, but it's kind of like the after Christmas sales. Yeah, you might find some stuff 50, 75% off. But the really good stuff, the size that you wanted, probably isn't in stock. The color that you wanted, it's gone. You got the doo-doo brown color one. Who wants that? So the Cowboys need to go ahead and get this thing done. And in the same regard, it's the same way with contracts. They let them fester. They trash the player. They create a bad reputation, animosity. You get the fans involved. It gets ugly. How many times have we heard the Cowboys, we're not going to pay, and then they turn around and pay? So now, instead of us being here like, we got a quarterback, what's your team going to do? Eagles? What's your team going to do? Jets? What's your team going to do? Bears? Broncos? 49ers? What's you guys going to do? Instead of doing that, what we are dealing with is whole discussion. Dak is trash. Dak's a bum. And even Dak Prescott's family, who Tad is literally in a Twitter war with fans. I don't know. It's getting crazy out here. You start reading some of these, it's like, dude, what the hell? It's this whole culture of hate. I've never seen so much hate in all my life. People are worried about what Dak Prescott might make. He hasn't had a contract. He ain't made peanuts. But yet people, what about, Carson Wentz and the money he done made? What about the money that Sam Bradford made? Did Sam Bradford ever get in a playoff game? Anybody say anything about the $130+ million that he made? I mean, come on. So one of the quotes, fans are something else. 1 minute you guys are cussing me, telling me Dak isn't worth anything he should ask for. This team can win with any quarterback, and now you see you're wrong. With that being said, you're seeing how wrong you are. I'm not being cussed because I'm now being cussed out because apparently I'm telling Dak to leave Dallas. This game is a business, and I always look out for the best interest of my brother. I am a Dak fan, plain and simple, and where he goes, I go. And this started out, I believe, from this tweet. Appreciate his time, but it's time to move on for both parties. We only 7 to 8 max with Dak. We won 6 without him. Most of the season we can continue to lose with or without him. $40 million a season worth 10 to 11 wins on average. Take away the rookie season, we never got above 9 wins max. There's so much so wrong with that tweet. Tad responds, 10-win season in 2018 along with the playoff win against the Seahawks. Come on, man, don't do this. In his 4 first years, only Brady won more games. It's ugly out here for no damn reason other than the Dallas Cowboys always drag things out. And it's time for the Cowboys to finish this thing. If you honestly believe that Dak is your guy, work it out, get it done right now. Stop waiting. Stop dragging your feet. Stop the ugliness. We have way too much ugliness that's going on. If he's not, if it's that you believe that Andy Dalton is the answer or that your grandson coming in a couple of years could be the guy you want in there, fine, so be it. You own the team. We don't. Just do something. Have a plan. And stop leaving people hanging and stop all of this just waiting and leaving people hanging. If you're done with Mike Nolan, fire him. Get rid of him. If you're not, say, hey, Mike, we know it was a rough year. It was COVID. We believe in you. We like the fact that we got 12 takeaways the last 4 games. We see some progress. We believe in you. But what you're doing is you're undermining. If you by chance, after a week of silence and saying nothing about him or longer, then say, you know what, we're going to bring you back. You've said to the world that we really aren't happy with you. We don't really believe in you. And that cascades down. Your body language matters to everybody else. And that's why you need to get this stuff done. I understand you like the press, but you really want to have some press? You really want people talking about you? Go out there and win the Super Bowl. Now with social media. When you won the Super Bowls the last few times, there was no Facebook or Twitter or YouTube. Think about the playoff run, going to the Super Bowl, being in there holding up that trophy with all of those cell phone cameras. Everybody taking the videos, the tapes, and everything else, sharing that, how they praise you for putting together the right group of people that finally, after 26 years, got it together and won the Super Bowl against all odds. That's how you get people to talk about you. It's that simple. Go out and win. All righty, gang. Like I said, I'm not the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not a wealthy man. I'm a guy who just sits here and gives you my opinion. And I'm good with that. But in the meantime, I do have bills that I got to go out and pay. So I am going to go get to work at my day job. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And hopefully today will be a better day than it was yesterday. I'll see you soon.